Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I've been wanting to do this video for the longest, but it took me a while to collect them all. I wanted to compare some high-end contour and highlight palettes, some very popular contour and highlight. These are powder highlight and contour palettes, and because they are so expensive, they're high-end, they're like $40+ each one. I know some people might be like, hey, like which one should I get? Which one is worth getting? I'm gonna spend all this money, maybe I don't want to get them all, I just want to get one. What do you suggest? And everybody's opinion is going to be different, so maybe there are other comparison videos on these three, but these are just my opinions, and honestly from using these, this is what I think. So the palettes that I wanted to compare today are the Anastasia contour kit. So actually this one came out first, and then we have the LORAC Pro contour kit. Actually I think the Kat Von D shade and light palette came out before the LORAC. However, I have the newest Kat Von D shade and light. I wanted to get this one initially when it came out, but when I finally decided to get it, I was like, you know what, let me hold off, because I heard they were going to make them refillable. So their newest palettes are now refillable, so you can either just get the colors that you want individually, or you can get the whole palette, and as you run out of certain colors, you can just, you know, restock on those instead of having to buy a whole new palette, which is honestly what I love about the Kat Von D and the Anastasia. The LORAC Pro Contour is not refillable as of yet. So a couple of things that I kind of wanted to go through regarding like blendability, quality, you know, and just in general why I love each, you know, palette differently and maybe how I would rate them. So price-wise, the Anastasia Contour Kit is $40. The LORAC is $45, and then the Kat Von D is $49. Kat Von D is definitely the most expensive palette, and honestly I think I love the concept that Anastasia had with their palettes. I love that you can kind of refill them. One thing I do wish that they had was a mirror. You know, especially if I'm just kind of taking this on the go as well. I think all of these palettes are really, really great if you're doing freelance makeup, because you kind of have, you know, different colors to kind of work with. And I know definitely Anastasia, it isn't just these colors that you can refill, but you can get other different like shades to customize. So you can get some that are darker, lighter, in between. So you can customize, say if these are too light for you, you can get a little bit tanner, a little bit deeper. They have so many different options, so they definitely do cater to a lot of different skin tones. The LORAC Pro Contour Palette, this one does come with a mirror. You gotta clean it off with the powders there. I have used and abused this one so much, but I do dislike that they are not refillable. And honestly, as you can see, I'm hitting pan these little three areas right here. Like honestly, if they're refillable, I probably would just order these three again. And then just kind of keep using those in like a, you know, little depot in a little palette. I don't get much use out of a highlight, a shimmery highlight shade. This is the only thing that the LORAC has, a shimmery highlight shade, whereas the Anastasia and the Kat Von D are all matte highlights and matte contours, and I like that in general. My highlights I like to pick and choose and customize like my own, have those as singles or in like a whole other palette, and honestly I feel like this highlight really did nothing. The shimmery highlight, a lot of times it's probably too ashy for a lot of different skin tones, so a lot of people are going to touch it. It wasn't the best formula. Like they should have just added another matte under eye highlight shade, and I think that would have been great. Now the Kat Von D, I think this is probably the fanciest of the packaging. The other two are definitely that cardboard type packaging. The Kat Von D, they actually upgraded it. I feel like before it was kind of also like that cardboard, magnetic, really still good quality, all of them, but they did a major upgrade. I didn't realize they kind of like raised and embossed the letters here, and it just feels fancy. I was like, ooh, okay. And then it comes with a mirror. I love that it comes with mirrors. Like this feels like a good quality. I was like, all right, I guess that's why you're charging me way more. But once again, these are also refillable. I love the colors in this palette, and also they have so many other colors to choose from that you can customize to your preference if you're using it for different people or just for yourself. Or if say maybe you tried the old one and you just want to get your own shade, you can just go ahead and do that. And I definitely do think these are all great quality palettes, but I do feel like maybe I prefer some tones in a certain palette over another, and as well as the blendability. If I had to kind of rate these first, second, and third place, I think for me, just having used these, I would probably rate the Anastasia Contour Kit in third place for myself. Just because, specifically for like my skin tone, I don't know, I feel like you can customize, but if you're just buying just the palette outright, I would definitely switch some colors up. But then that's just going to depend. Maybe just kind of create your own palette. I think on their website you can probably just create your own palette, but if you're going to pick this up at Ulta, these are kind of the colors I have there. And as a palette, as just, you know, kind of how it came out, I'm like, color wise, I'm kind of whatever. But that's not the only reason I put on third place. I think they all blend out really great, but this one, if I had to say which one is like okay, it's good. I think the blendability is good with this one. I think the other two definitely step it up a notch. So for a good palette, I would definitely say maybe get the Anastasia. Tone wise, like color choice, that's definitely something I can always customize myself. But for me, why I put it on third place is because the blendability is just good. But I feel like once I've tried the other palettes, I was like, ooh, it's just opened up my eyes to a whole new world. Like, oh my god, this is even better. Second place for me, I would have to rate the LORAC Pro Contour Palette. I loved this palette when it came out. Like, I tried the Anastasia, I thought it was good. I tried the LORAC, I was like, oh my god, the quality of it and the blendability is even better. I was so, as you can tell, I was obsessed because right away I was like, this is probably gonna be great because I love LORAC eyeshadows. They're butter, they're smooth, they're incredible. So honestly, their face powders, I think these are definitely top notch. So just for me, I feel like the quality of the LORAC, they definitely just stepped it up a little bit more than the Anastasia. And in general, I love the tones of this palette. For me, these three colors I can kind of, I like to intermix like a yellow and like the light color for my under eye. And I think this shade for my contour is just perfect. Sometimes if I'm a little bit tanner or if I just want to accentuate it, I'll just kind of like add a little bit of this color, but mostly I'll beat up this guy. But I just love the shade. Like when I'm kind of doing like makeup, my go-to makeup, I will definitely, normally I reach for this palette a lot because I just know that contour shade is just going to be great. And since you know what my second place is, you know Kat Von D is definitely my first place. And honestly, it went up one more notch in quality. Like, I was loving the LORAC. I hadn't tried the Kat Von D. I just recently purchased the Kat Von D finally because I just really needed to buy something at Sephora, and I was like, what is it that I really want? Like, there's so many things I was looking at, but I was like, this is what I've been lusting over. This is what I've been wanting. And it did not disappoint. Oh my god. I didn't try it when it was just the original palette, but I'm pretty sure the formula hasn't changed too much. If anything, hopefully it just got better. Because this formula is amazing. Oh my god, it's amazing. Like, all of these are really, really pigmented, but if you want a brightening under eye shadow, oh my god, these will brighten. Like, these have pigmentation. These don't get really like cakey or anything. None of these, well, maybe Anastasia can get a little bit too powdery, and then LORAC is a little bit better, but this is just like, oof, it's perfection, and it really just accentuates and highlights underneath the eye if you need it to. And then as well, I like to kind of interchange. I get a little bit of this if I want a little bit more warmth for the contour, but I definitely do like this one. And oh my god, sometimes I'll have trouble with powders blending on my face, bronzers and contours. But this, no matter I feel like what foundation, even if it's like a foundation is just definitely not working for my skin, this still blends out like a dream. I am so impressed. Honestly, if I had to suggest one highlight and contour palette out of these three, I would say definitely spend those extra, this is $49, the cheapest one is $40, spend those extra $9, spend those extra $4 as opposed to LORAC. This is so worth it. And however, if you don't want to buy the whole palette, if you aren't, you know, just using it for yourself, because I just wanted the whole palette, just get the whole palette. But I think honestly, even for me, I was just debating just getting under eye highlights and my contour shade. If you don't want to spend $49, pick an under eye highlight and pick a contour shade and save some money. And honestly, I think it'll be worth it, and just keep using that. Like, the quality of these, I love it. It's just so buttery, it's so smooth. This is amazing. If you haven't tried it, I would definitely say pick it up. This just blew the other ones out of the water. I still love my LORAC, but that one definitely, it docked some points because it's not refillable. Everything needs to be refillable. If you're gonna be in a palette, please be refillable so I can keep just buying my favorite shade. Like, I get it, you have to buy the whole thing to make more money. But people like refillable, and this is the fanciest. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick comparison. If you've been curious about which one to buy, I hope this was helpful. If you tried all three of these, let me know what your favorite was as well. I'm curious to know what other people think. Of course, you don't need all three palettes, but you know, as they come out, if you're a makeup addict, you want to try them all. So I had to, eventually, it took me a while, but eventually I tried them all and I'm able to compare. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with some more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.